Welcome to the online lecture series of refrigeration and air conditioning. And today we will be having a lecture on psychrometric processes and bypass factor. Now we'll move on to the next slide. Now these are some of the basic psychrometric processes. Now we can see over here on the right hand side there is a graph which is a psychrometric graph, and over here we can see that on the x-axis there is temperature, that is the drivable temperature, and on the y-axis it is specific humidity. And over here we can see some points that are being labeled. Now at the center, this is O, this point is O. O. At center it is O, and from O we are varying at different places from O to A, O to B, C, D, and these are the different processes that are written. Now O to A, that is what horizontal process, horizontal towards the right. If we move, it is sensible heating. As we can see, the that all the temperature is increasing, so it is the sensible heating process. It is only heating is occurring, so it is sensible heating process. Then there is process O to B, that is in the horizontal line towards the left hand side. It can be seen that only the temperature is decreasing and no humidity is increasing or decreasing, so it is known as sensible cooling process. Then humidifying process is O2C, that means humidity is increasing, so it is O2C. Then for dehumidifying, if we go vertically downwards, it will be dehumidifying process, O2D. Then there is a combination of these four basic processes. Now the next one is heating and humidifying. Now as we know, heating is whenever we go towards the right hand side, it is heating, and humidifying is whenever we go vertically upwards. So we can see that over here, if we follow both those patterns, so we will reach a process like OE, which is heating and humidifying. The opposite of it is cooling and dehumidifying. Okay, the opposite of it is cooling and dehumidifying. The temperature decreases and humidity also decreases. Then seventh process is cooling and humidifying. Seventh process is cooling and humidifying, and where you can see it over here, OG. Okay, this process here the temperature is reducing, but the humidity is adding into the system. And the next one is heating and dehumidifying process. That means the temperature increases and the moisture content decreases. That is from O to H. Now, some of the basic processes that are most widely used are your uh, cooling and dehumidification, cooling and dehumidification, and heating and humidification. Okay, these two processes are most widely used. Cooling and dehumidifying is used in summers, and heating and humidifying are used in winters. We'll see it in detail in the next slides to come. Okay, so we move on to the next slide. Now, the next one is sensible heating and cooling. Now, what is sensible heating and cooling? Now, heating or cooling of air without addition or subtraction of moisture is termed as sensible heating or cooling. That means when there is no moisture content, जब हम moisture की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, in that case, such a thing is known as sensible heating or cooling. ठीक है, that is without addition or subtraction of moisture. ठीक है, so this is important. ठीक है, if there is no addition or subtraction of moisture, then such a term is known as sensible heating or cooling. Now, heating can be achieved by passing the air over a heating coil like electrical resistance, heating coils or steam coils. Okay, so any medium could be there. You can see in the diagram. If this is the heating coil, these are the heating coils. write it. This is the sensible heating. Sensible heating. Over here it is sensible cooling. So it is sensible cooling. As you can see, we are having a refrigerant over here. यहाँ पर हमें क्या दिखाई दे रहा है? We are having a refrigerant, and over here it is a steam. So steam is basically a heating medium, and on the other hand, refrigerant is a cooling medium. Now, in the diagram A, we can see that in the sensible heating, process 1 to 2 is going towards horizontally towards left to right. Okay, 1 is starting point is at the left hand side, and 2 is the final point is at the right hand side. Okay, so this is 1 and this is your 2, and the temperature of coil, sorry, the temperature of coil is 2, and the final point that the air is leaving out is at 3. And over here you can see that 2 is the temperature of coil, and inlet air is 1 and outlet air is at 3. So we'll move on to the next slide to understand it in a better manner. Now, in this one, the heat absorbed or released during the process is denoted by S, and it is called sensible heat. Okay. In a sensible heating or cooling process, the heat absorbed or released during these processes is denoted by S. Okay. If a building is to be air conditioned, receives or loses heat due to transmission or other reasons, it is supposed to have sensible heat load. ठीक है ना? If अगर कोई भी air conditioning building है, आप उसके लिए load design कर रहे हैं, and the heat that is being added or lost, ठीक है, is due to transmission or other reasons. Transmission or other reasons की वजह से है, then it is known as sensible heat load. ठीक है, and you can see it from the diagram that if the initial temperature is TA and final temperature is TB, that is the dry bulb temperature, then the relative enthalpies can be taken from the, this is the constant enthalpy lines. taken constant enthalpy lines की help से आप क्या कर सकते हैं? These two are the constant enthalpy lines, and from the psychrometric chart you can have the enthalpy and the difference of these enthalpies. These are specific enthalpies, Hp minus Ha, and multiplied by the mass of dry air, we can have the sensible heat that is being added or reduced from the uh, condition of steam. Okay. Now it can be also written as sensible heat can be also converted into the form of CPs, specific heats, in this manner: MSCP TB minus TA, MSCP TPA for dry air, plus if you want to convert it into the specific heat of vapor, then we have the heat in the form of MA 1.005 plus 1.88. This omega is specific humidity into TB minus TA. Now, I hope it is clear. It is the heat equation that is being transferred. Now we move on to the next slide. Now we see the case of humidification and dehumidification. Now, when a state of air is altered along dry bulb equals constant, that means if the dry bulb of air is not changing and we are changing its state, then moisture in the form of vapor has to be transferred to change in humidity ratio of air. Okay, that is change in latent heat. Okay. Now, whenever if the dry bulb temperature is constant, you can see it over here, dry bulb temperature is constant and the state is changing, then in this case either moisture is added into the system or into the air, or moisture is removed from the air. Okay, we can see the specific humidity changes from WC to WB or WB to WC, whatever might be the case. Now in the humidification, when humidity is added, state of air moves vertically upwards. Whenever humidity is added, it will move vertically upwards, and when humidity is removed, state of air moves vertically downwards. Okay, so as I have told you, because it is moving up and down, the humidity will change or not. Now the thing is, as we know that in this moisture is added, and moisture is nothing but moisture comes whenever liquid water is converted into vapor. So what happens in this process, basically it there occurs a phase change. A phase change is occurring. Okay, that is why more amount of vapors are added. That means a liquid is converted into vapor. So that liquid is basically absorbing the latent heat to convert into vapor. Therefore, this kind of heating is known as latent heating of air. Now, if air is having increase in latent heat, that means it is absorbing more amount of moisture, and if it is having a release of latent heat, that means it is decreasing its moisture content. The latent heat change in the process is given by LQ Ma Hc minus Hp, where Hc and Hp are the specific uh, heat, specific enthalpies, at the point C and B, and again it can be converted into the form of your Ma HFG Wc minus Wb. Now we know that HFG is nothing but the sensible heat. It is the sensible heat. Okay. Now it can also be written in the form of Ma Wc minus Wg, where W is nothing but your specific humidity. Now we move on to the next slide. Next slide is about sensible heat factor and latent heat factor. Now the thing that we should keep in mind is that the heat added during the psychrometric process, heat added during the sorry heat added during the psychrometric process may be split up into sensible heat and latent heat, into the sensible heat and latent heat, split up into sensible heat and latent heat. Now we are having a sensible heat factor. Now what is sensible heat factor? The ratio of sensible heat to the total heat is known as the sensible heat factor, briefly written as SHF, or sensible heat ratio, briefly written as SHR. Okay, and mathematically it is you can see the relation over here. It is SHF equals sensible heat upon sensible heat plus latent heat, where SH equals sensible heat and latent heat. Now what is sensible heat factor? That there is a total heat, that is a sum total of sensible heat and latent heat. As you can see over here, total heat is equals to sensible heat plus latent heat. It is the sum total of the heat transfer during a psychrometric process, and the ratio, that only what percentage of it is the sensible heat, is given by sensible heat factor. Now what is latent heat factor? The ratio of latent heat to the total heat is known as latent heat factor. Briefly it can be written as LHF, or latent heat ratio, briefly written as LHR mathematically. And mathematically we can write LHF is equals to 1 minus SHF. We know that the ratio of sensible heat to total heat cannot be greater than 1, because the total heat is in the denominator. So therefore latent heat factor will be equals to 1 minus SHF. Now from the psychrometric chart we can see that if a psychrometric process is occurring between A and C, if a psychrometric process is occurring between A and C, now this line can be divided into two portions, that is from A to B and B to C. The portion A to B, the heat change from A to B is known as sensible heat, and from B to C is the latent heat. Now the total heat transfer is delta H, which is equals to Hc minus Ha, and the sensible heat is Hb minus Ha. It is Hb minus Ha. So sensible heat factor will be equals to Hb minus Ha upon Hc minus Ha. Okay. Or we can have latent heat factor equals 1 minus Sha. Okay, I hope it is clear. Sensible heat factor and latent heat factor. Now there is one more thing regarding this. We can also see it on the psychrometric chart directly with this help of this line. I will show you how. We move on to the next slide. Now in this, the sensible heat factor scale is shown on the right hand side of the psychrometric chart, or in some scales it is on the right hand side, or on some it is on the left hand side. As over here you can see it is on the left hand side. Now what happens is, suppose we are having a process, let us say at 20 degrees drive. First of all, I will give you the conditions. Let us say at 20-degree dry bulb temperature and 50% RH. It is the initial condition. Okay, and so the initial condition point will lie over here. So I'll mark the point for you. It is a 50% RH line and it is 20-degree DVC. So this is the point. Okay, this is the point over here. And let us suppose the final condition is at 30 degrees, or let us say 35 degrees DBT and 60% relative humidity. Then what will be the point? The point we will have will be over here. Okay, over here we will be having a point, so I will mark it for you. It will be over here. Okay, so now the process will move direction. Process is going to move in this direction. Okay, so what is this kind of process? This kind of process is, we can see that the temperature is increasing and humidity is increasing. So it is heating and humidification. Okay, and now if I want to find out what is the sensible heat factor, now what I can do is I can pick this line. I will not be able to pick this line over here, but I can transfer this line with the help of a roller scale, let us suppose, or with the help of a perpendicular. Suppose I draw a perpendicular line onto it. Line is perpendicular to it, and I will draw another perpendicular line to this line. This is approximately perpendicular, so I can see the sensible heat factor around over here is, I can see this from this table, it is around, or I should draw it from here. Center, just a minute. I will try to draw it from here only. So the sensible heat factor of this line is around 0.3. Okay, that is 0.3 sensible heat, and the 0.7 is latent heat. It will give you the slope, so you can directly find it from here. You can have it is easy for the roller scale. If you have a roller scale, you can directly slide it from this point to this point, and you can have a scale that what is a sensible heat factor. Now we'll move on to the next slide. I hope it is clear. Now the next one is psychrometric. Some of the psychrometric processes used in air conditioning equipment, which are most prominently used. That is, I already told you, that is cooling and dehumidification and heating and humidification. Now, the cooling and dehumidification, in cooling and dehumidification, in this process, lowering the temperature, what we do is we lower the temperature and reduces the lower the temperature and reducing the moisture content in the air is achieved. Okay. The removal of water vapor from the air is termed as humidification of air. Dehumidification of air. The dehumidification of air is only possible if the air is cooled below the dew point temperature of the air. Okay, I have already told you that moisture from the air can be removed only when the cooling temperature of the coil should be at the dew point temperature for that air, and at least at the dew point temperature, or if it is below then also it will work. Now the temperature of cooling coil in this case is known as apparatus dew point. ठीक है, कूलिंग कॉइल के टेम्परेचर को हम क्या कहते हैं, apparatus dew point कहते हैं. ठीक है, which can be either equal to the dew point of the air or can be equal to less than the dew point of the air. Now you can see it from the graph over here. This is the starting point, that is our point 1, and 2 is, this is our apparatus dew point. That 2 point is coil surface temperature or apparatus dew point. You can see it from here also. And T4 is the dew point temperature of air. It is the dew point temperature of air. Now we know that the dew point temperature of air, the apparatus dew point is lesser than the dew point temperature. So the air will proceed in this manner. Okay. The moisture content can still be formed if this air is there and we approach towards this line by sensible cooling. If you do only sensible cooling, then also we can have the moistures. But to remove the moisture content, what we have to do, we will have to reduce it further below the dew point temperature so that we can achieve this method. Now to a certain point, the final condition will be at point 3. We will not reach exactly at point 2, but we will reach somewhere around point 3. Now, under the ideal condition, the air coming out of the coil will be at 2. This is the ideal condition, but no cooling is 100% efficient. So the condition of air coming out of the coil will be represented by the point 3, and the bypass factor of the cooling coil in this case is given by this relation. This is an important relation. So you should remember it. Although we are going to further discuss this, that how it has came. Okay, we will discuss it in the next slide. So I'll move on to the next slide. Now, this is heating and humidification. In the heating and humidification, what is there? You can see that it is heating and humidifying, and to humidify we have a humidifier in place. Okay, we use a humidifier and a heating coil. The inlet air is heated and then it is moisture is added into it so that the humidification can be done. Now where here we can see that the process, although we see is 1 to 2, but in actual practice how it is achieved is, first we go on from 1 to 3, that is we heat it above a certain temperature, and then at a constant enthalpy we add the moisture into it so that we can reach the point 2. This is the actual method by which heating and humidification is achieved. Now we'll move on to the next slide. Now the bypass factor. Okay, bypass factor is basically you can read all these things because the time is less, so I will like to finish it. Now over here Uh, if it is the arrangement, let us see. Now we can see it that there is a steam in and a steam out. That means it is a heating coil, okay, at a temperature. Okay. Now, if 1 kg of air is passing through the coil, now it is a kind of arrangement which is shown, but in actual practice also, only some portion of the air comes in contact with the cooling coil, and the rest of the air just bypasses it. It does not come into contact with it, but it passes near to it, so its temperature is not reached to the coil temperature, but slightly lesser than it. So that phenomena is shown in the form of a kind of bypass, that the air coming through this is bypassed from a portion. Now, let us suppose 1 kg of air, 1 kg of air is the inlet, and a amount, let us say B or X, is passed through the bypass. That is, it doesn't come into contact. So its temperature will remain same at T1, and the air that is coming into contact with the coil, that is 1 minus B, is having a final temperature of 1 minus B, and its temperature will be that of the cooling coil. So we will have a final air that will be having a temperature of 2. Now what is over here? The 1 is the initial condition of hot air. You can see it from here. It is 1. It is the initial It is the initial condition of air, and it is the coil temperature over here. As you can see it as a this is the surface temperature of the coil. And what happens is the temperature is dropping, but what will happen is some of the air has bypassed, that is x is bypassed, and 1 minus x has uh, been the air that has came into the contact with the coil. So this much amount of air has not been able to cool. So this x is known as bypass factor, because this much amount has uh, left. So I will write it for here also. Is nothing but x. Okay. So this b is nothing but x, or the bypass factor. So I can write it as 1 minus x. Now you can see it from here also. The by x is bypass factor, 1 minus amount of air cooled over the coil from the state 1 to the temperature of the coil surface is mixed with the rest of the air to get it at state to a desired value. This desired lowest temperature is called apparatus dew point. That is, the lowest temperature that is desired is 2. That is, I wanted to achieve this temperature which is at S, and then so this is my desired temperature, but what I get is I get a temperature that is 2. Now we'll see some of the further derivations in this. Now this is the bypass factor for heating and cooling coil. Now, in the above condition, a little consideration will show that when air passes over a coil, some of it, say x kg, just by passes unaffected, while the remaining 1 minus x come into this coil. So for this, if we do the balancing of enthalpies, we get x cpm tt1 plus 1 minus x cpm of tt3. That means this is the amount of air that has not came in contact, and this is the amount of air that has came in contact with the cooling coil. It should have its enthalpy equals to the enthalpy of the final air, that is 1 kg into the cp of moist air into the temperature of the final air. It should be equal. So when we solve it, we come to know that x is equals to this value, is equals to this value, and this is nothing but the value of bypass factor for the coil. Okay, it is written as bypass factor, it is written by bpf. Therefore bypass factor for heating coil is given by this relation, and cooling coil is given by this relation. Okay, the relation is changing because there is increase and decrease of temperature, and bypass factor is always positive. So that is why we are having this relation. Okay, These are the important relations you should understand. Now, thus one can define bypass factor of apparatus representing the fraction of uncontacted air. So this is basically the uncontacted air in terms of the state 1, 2 and S. So we are having this relation over here. We have seen this relation in the earlier slide also. Okay, so it is the same relation, but in which we are having in the terms of humidity ratio and in the terms of your enthalpies, specific enthalpies. We can also write this ratio. These relations are helpful in solving various numericals. Now, the 1 minus x is known as contact factor. Now, this is important. Sometimes can be asked what is uh, the contact ratio. So, contact ratio is nothing more 1 minus x or 1 minus bypass factor is known as contact ratio. Now, we'll move on to the next slide. Now, in this relation, the sensible heat is termed into the forms of your Q equals AC into Tm, that is your convection heat. Now, where U is overall heat transfer coefficient, AC is surface area of the coil, and Tm is logarithmic mean temperature difference. Now, the thing you should remember is this derivation. It is very simple. Once you go, it is a logarithmic temperature difference, and this is the bypass factor, the formula that we had. Now, if you are going to solve it further, we come into the position where bypass factor is equals to exponential e raised to the power minus, it is e raised to the power, here you can see it, e raised to the power minus ua into cm. So this is an important relation. You should keep it in mind. Now, we'll move on to the next slide. I hope, no, one slide is still remaining. Now, efficiency of for heating oblique cooling coil. So, if somebody asks you the efficiency, so efficient bypass factor is basically the loss. So it is the bypass factor because the air has bypassed the cooling coil, so it hasn't achieved your purpose. You wanted to cool or heat the incoming air, but in the bypass term, that is the loss that has occurred to you. So efficiency is 1 minus bypass factor or the contact factor is also known as the efficiency. So it's written, same is written over here. The term 1 minus BPF is known as efficiency of coil or the contact factor. Efficiency of heating coil is given by this relation over here. As you can see, that is 1 minus. This is the bypass factor. Now, for heating coil, the bypass factor is this, so it is 1 minus this. And for cooling coil, we are having efficiency of cooling coil is equals to 1 minus this temperature. Now, I hope it is clear. If there is any doubt, then we can clear it in the next session. Now, I'll take up question in the next session, so don't go anywhere. And do subscribe to the channel so that you can come into the contact of these YouTube channels, these recorded channel stuff for your further reference. If somebody has left, they can also